Greetings, friends. Jason here for AxodysFC. It's Friday afternoon, gearing up for Wolves. Meanwhile, Spurs are riddled with injury and suspension issues. So tomorrow's starting lineup, very much a puzzle to be solved by Ange Postecoglou. So in terms of, and I've talked about this a little bit, but in terms of, who will our center backs be? We know obviously one will be Eric Dyer. All signs point to Ash Phillips at least being on the bench, but if he's truly third in line, Ange has typically tended to just go with those players if they're the next up. On the flip side too, actually, Ben Davies is available. So it is totally possible that we would go with a Ben Davies and Eric Dyer pairing. Could be an Ash Phillips and Eric Dyer pairing. I think it is probably unlikely that we would go with Højbjerg again, just because there are other people available, and he's more of a emergency result, down to 10 or 9 men sort of situation. But so I have some questions. I do want to see Ash Phillips in action. But I don't want him to be thrown to the Wolves and not be ready if he's borderline or whatever. But so the other bad news too is we found out that Maddison's ankle issue is worse than originally anticipated, and in fact there is ligament damage there, and essentially haven't heard specifically that he's going to need surgery on that, but basically he's going to need a few months to heal up. He was withdrawn from the England team for the upcoming international break, where he was, initially called up. And so, basically the word is, as far as Maddison and Van der Ven, is they're looking at being out of the picture until like January. At least, I don't think they've done scans specifically yet, but the word is they don't think Micky will require surgery. We've seen pictures of him in training gear, and he's been moving around, seemingly without needing crutches or something like that. But obviously it takes time to heal up from such a significant muscular injury, and most likely signs are pointing to, well, we'll know for sure, but it certainly seemed based on his reaction that if it's not going to require surgery but as much pain as he was in, seems like like a type 2 grade or whatever, which anyway they're estimating he'll return in January. So with that in mind, what that means for center back, etc., we need more than ever. As far as Maddison goes, this means it's time for Lo Celso and Brian Hill in particular to step up. And in his press conference today, Ange alluded to this is the time for those guys to step up and show what they can do. Skip as well. And of course we also have potential yellow card suspensions looming for the likes of Basuma. After he gets another one, he'll be out for a game, and it's going to be tricky. At least we have the upcoming international break to hopefully figure out some things with some of our players, but at the same time I imagine we've got guys like Brennan Johnson, Lo Celso. A lot of the squad will be heading off presumably, so frustrating situation. Let's see, anything else that I wanted to cover? Oh yeah, the one from a fantasy perspective, it's been interesting because usually, yeah, in injury scenarios and with replacements, from what I've seen in my limited couple months experience with So Rare, you see big card price jumps and that kind of thing. And for instance, Bentancur and Lo Celso have jumped a lot in terms of their price. I think Lo Celso was around $10 roughly for his card. He was up to like 25 when I checked recently. So I think the market is kind of expecting him to step in for Maddison. Interestingly, we haven't seen significant price dips for Maddison and Van der Ven yet. So I'm interested to see what happens over the next couple months if they do drop at all. Because in that circumstance, I would like to target Maddison. If I could buy him low as a long-term prospect, knowing he'll get healthy and be a big cog for Spurs for years to come. So anyway, I'm just enjoying watching the market and seeing what's going. I have no. I have adequate players for what I'm doing right now, and I'm not making any big moves or anything. So just more saving my money up for possible future acquisitions or good deals. But anyway, looking forward to tomorrow's game. I believe it's bright and early, 4:30 my time. And I'm just very interested to see what we line up with and how it goes. I definitely think it could be a very tough game for us. But I am excited to see what Ange goes for with the lineup and how those players perform. And actually, the one other thing is Ange was named Premier League Manager of the Month for the third straight month, which is pretty unprecedented, I think, for like a newcomer to the Premier League and certainly for Tottenham. So very cool that he got the recognition for how well he'd done over that span. And to be honest, if we exceed expectations, which for most people cannot be all that high with what we've lost, he could very well get a fourth one in the best possible scenario. Probably unlikely. It probably ends now and reality returns. But anyway, looking forward to seeing how we respond to this adversity and what we line up with tomorrow. So on that note, thanks for tuning in. As always, please like and subscribe if you enjoy these. And remember, to dare is to do.